What's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, and my fighters? I'm One Eyebrow, also known as PT. You don't know if I'm winking or I'm blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about The Walking Dead in Season 10, Episode 14, titled Look at the Flowers. Spoiler warning, obviously, for the show, comics, all that stuff. Spoiler warning. But we got the Q&A, potential spoilers for The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 14, and it sounds like an interesting, very interesting episode that we're going to see a lot about this guy right here, Mr. Beta. But first, guys, before we get to it, please hit that subscribe button. We have a goal of 100,000 subscribers, and we're super close to achieving that goal, but we need your help to achieve it. And hit that join button to become a valued member of our PT channel, Walking Dead family, and ring the bell to be notified when we post videos every day. Now here we go. Are the groups still separated? Everyone who were at Hilltop still seems to be there, and Hilltop is the only community we see. Does anyone learn about Michonne leaving to find Rick? If so, what are the reactions? No. Is Carol dreaming or hallucinating when she sees Alpha in the woods? Does she have more of these dreams/hallucinations? I should say neither, because I think this is meant to be more of a conversation that Carol has with herself. Yes, it continues throughout the episode until she resolves it. Alpha taunts her about her life, how she lost everyone no matter what she did, and her end is inevitable. Why is Carol alone in the woods? What's inside the cabin she's approaching? She tells Negan that she needs to be alone. A boat, apparently. When she's trying to get it off a shelf, it falls and the roof of the cabin collapses with it, trapping Carol underneath. A walker starts coming in, she frees herself and kills it. This gets Alpha to disappear. What is the deal made between Carol and Negan? Does she keep her word? Carol says that if Negan kills Alpha, she will make sure the people remember him for that and not the other stuff. Not exactly, because she leaves to be on her own. It's Daryl who ends up finding Negan and hearing his story first. So we only see Hilltop. Carol has dreams and hallucinations, and a lot of people are worried about her. But Carol, Daryl, Negan, we're going to see them in this episode. And what's up with Hilltop? They just go back there? Is everybody safe to go back there? Is it even safe to go back to? But I guess it's not that type of episode. But hopefully we'll see in Season 10, Episode 15 what happened there. Alpha is taunting Carol, but in Carol's mind. Because Alpha is gone. And Carol knows that. So the interesting fact is that Carol is still tormented. Even though she killed Alpha, well, Negan did, and she was a part of it, is kind of interesting. We'll have to see what happens with Carol and what's going to snap out of it. But she's getting on a boat? What is this shack? How does she know what's there? Has she been there before? And man, there are a lot of cabins and shacks recently on The Walking Dead. Negan's getting a raw deal. He was let out by Carol, and then Carol's like, yeah, I got my own problems. Thanks for doing your job. But technically, Negan is a free man. Does someone say, look at the flowers in this episode? Who? Yes. Hallucination Alpha to Carol as she's trapped under debris and a walker is approaching. What's going on with Lydia? Does she know Alpha is dead? Lydia's not in the episode. What happens with Negan and Daryl? Negan goes to the other cabin to get Lydia, but finds Daryl instead. He takes him to the spikes where he and Carol had put Alpha's head, but since Beta took it in the meantime, it's no longer there. While Negan is trying to convince Daryl of his good intentions, some whispers arrive with guns and say that they are there to kneel to the new Alpha. Needless to say, all this is very amusing to Negan. He then kills the Whispers instead. Do Daryl and Carol interact in this episode? If so, what happens during their scenes? Once, after freeing herself from the debris at the cabin, Carol comes back to Hilltop. Daryl lets her in. They don't speak to each other. Why do Yumiko and Ezekiel decide to join Eugene on his journey to meet Stephanie? No specific reason is mentioned. What happens during Yumiko, Ezekiel, and Eugene's journey? Do they make it? Ezekiel is not feeling well. He feels like giving up after his horse dies, saying maybe he's not strong enough to make the journey. Yumiko tells him that they need the man who built a kingdom during the apocalypse by their side. Yes, they do make it. And I got questions. This is text, but I can't wait to see the episode because it's like, okay, Daryl lets in Carol back at Hilltop. So is Negan there at Hilltop? What's up with that? And I have to say, it's pretty weak that Alpha says, look at the flowers. She's not involved with this. This is way back in Season 4, and it's a callback to Lizzie and Carol. Look at the flowers, and it was a big, huge, emotional moment. Seems kind of weak, but the whole thing with Negan and Daryl is interesting. Daryl doesn't kill Negan, so there's articles going around that people are worried about Daryl's going to kill Negan and tell him to look at the flowers. It's not a threat. Look at the flowers is not a threat, but the fact that Negan could be the new Alpha of the Whispers is interesting, but I guess it's not going to happen. We had our foreshadowing, we had our theories, we had the comic book stuff, and really, Negan should be the new Alpha. But I guess they're not going that route either. And now we know why Ezekiel is on the same horse as Yumiko. 1, he wasn't feeling well, and 2, the other horse died. So we'll have to see what happens. The other question is, do they meet Stephanie or just Princess? Do they meet Princess? Yes. She's in this weird place where everyone, walkers, is either tied or handcuffed as is, while they were going about their lives. This is where we see the police walker. Do we learn Connie's fate? No. What is Beta's reaction to Alpha's death? What is his plan now that she's gone? So Beta actually takes up about a third of the episode. It is revealed that he has some sort of a secret hideout where there's a bed, a guitar, a record player, and his records. Sounds like a man cave. He's Half Moon, country singer. He brings Alpha's head here in a sack and has a fit of rage, smashing his guitar. Then he puts on a live recording of his and goes out onto the balcony to see hundreds of walkers gathering outside. Afterwards, he thanks Alpha's head and drives a blade into it. Goes out the front door, straight into the walkers, and starts leading them. We see Beta walking with a guy in a red shirt in promo pictures. Who is he and what happens to him? He's a random whisperer who makes the mistake of telling Beta that he's the new Alpha. Beta has Alpha's head bite this guy's ear off and then has him killed by walkers. How does the episode end? With Beta, how I described in question 14. Anything else interesting? I'm going to have to say no again. This was a bit of an uneventful episode, but still a good one. So Beta is a country singer named Half Moon. All right, Half Moon it is, right? And it's interesting because some people were thinking or said the potential spoilers somewhere that the whisperer in the red shirt was named Rufus. I don't know, but either way, this is what we got from the Q&A. And the fact that Beta is going to have a big episode is pretty cool, and I'm definitely okay with that. I like Ryan Hurst, and I like a little bit more backstory about Beta. But a lot of people are asking about the promo photos, and here's the big one that we see with Yumiko and Ezekiel and Eugene. Well, Ezekiel somewhere around here. But the police walker. They're like, how did the hat stay on? Well, I guess Princess is making these people wear this stuff for some reason. They may be her friends. Because if she's alone in the city, if you know anything about the comics, you know that Princess is alone in Pittsburgh. She's a princess of Pittsburgh. But you see Ezekiel's face, and he's probably looking at a different walker. And if they're chained as is, they could be Princess Juanita Sanchez's friends. Or something there too. She talks to him, she's safe. But if you know the comics, Princess is kind of a wacky character, and she could be great for the show. But my question is, do we just meet Princess here and not Stephanie? So I guess we just meet Princess. These are the spoiler pics going around. Well, the one on the right is the spoiler pic of the girl in pink, and that looks to be Princess from the comic. So I'm guessing she's wearing that pink jacket just like the comic. And here we can see the Beta cave, the man cave. You can see the symbols and the speakers and everything, and Beta has Alpha's head in a sack, and he's clearly mad at her. For sure. I could see him being like, I told you not to trust them, and I told you something, but, Beta's going to freak out. But the fact that we finally get Beta's country singer name, and this was in a Walking Dead pop-up video, Beta didn't always hate music. In fact, before the apocalypse, he was a famous singer. His vinyl record can be seen in Fear the Walking Dead's episode Today and Tomorrow. And now we have it on The Walking Dead. Even though I believe we heard his record when Magna was sitting there listening to records at Hilltop earlier this season, which was pretty cool. And then we're going to see the three amigos. You see the Whisperer that Beta kills, some other Whisperer that I don't know what happens to him, and Beta. But the fact that Beta has Alpha's head bite this guy's ear is pretty hilarious. And he's going to be devoured by walkers, so he can't tell anybody what happened to him. As people would ask, like, you were bit by Alpha? He's like, nah, man, I was bit by the head of a decapitated Alpha. What? But walkers are going to come take this guy out, and Beta's going to celebrate and then take over his own walker group. I'm not sure if he's going to use Whisperers at all, but he's going to use the walkers. And this is from the trailer, so I'm guessing this is towards the end of it when he goes down and leads his new group of walkers. So there you go, guys. That is the spoilers for Season 10, Episode 14. Potentially, these may or may not occur, but it's highly likely to occur in this week's episode of The Walking Dead, Season 10, Episode 14. Look at the flowers. And I'm not sure if you know about the news about Season 10, Episode 16, that it's postponed. due to the coronavirus, shutting things down, and they can't complete the post-production of the season 10 finale. So we'll have to see what happens down the road. We're going to have season 10 episode 14 and 15, and then a little break before we get to the finale. But let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. And for those interested in my Zombie Apocalypse book series, if you watch all my videos, you know all about it. So help you support it, pick up your copy today, and join the fight. And as always, tell them, Daryl.
Yo, we love you guys. Honestly, thank you.